Alrighty, friends. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another installment of our videos talking about human population growth. What we are going to consider now are things like fertility rates and things of that nature. I do want to preface this maybe if you are a little bit sensitive on talking or listening to things about fertility, if you are struggling with your own fertility, then just kind of keep that in mind, that talking about having children is going to be coming up a lot in this particular video. So just want a little bit of a trigger warning for you, just in case that is if that is something that you are also going through. Okay, so first starting with zero population growth. And we saw this a bit already, but just kind of going over it again, right? So zero population growth occurs when the number of people born is equal to the number of people dying. So, going back to this mathematical equation that we were just talking about. So if they're the same, then you're not going to be growing your population. So that basically means that your replacement fertility rate has been reached. And this value changes from country to country. And also, maybe some people out there, there's things that happen. Not all children who are born actually grow up to be an adult. Or some people, like me, choose to not have children. Or another thing could potentially be if you cannot have children, right? This is actually a bit of a big concern that's kind of rising up a bit more in the past few years or so. Is a lot of people have been really struggling with their fertility and have had to use other avenues in which to try to have children. And I know that there's lots of different theories out there about as to why fertility has kind of been on the decline. And it's up in the air personally. I have not personally done enough research to figure out why exactly that's happening, but it is something that is kind of interesting. So if we were to again look at the total fertility rate, this is a value that is defined as the average number of children a woman will have over the course of her lifetime. And this value is a really good indicator for growth, right? So if you have more women having more children, then you're obviously going to have, your population is going to grow, right? So it's going to be a pretty good indicator here. And many countries have had a decrease in their total fertility rate over the years. And this graph here is looking particularly at the total fertility rate on the bottom, on the x-axis of the average number of children per family. And then the y-axis here is looking at desired fertility. So this is the amount of children that people want to have on average. So this is from your book, but I just wanted to showcase here this total fertility rate being, can range anywhere from 2 to 10 or so. And each data point here does represent data for one country. So kind of interesting there. So looking at zero population growth again, reaching this value takes 2 steps. Identify one, why birth rates are so high, and then perhaps taking steps to reduce them if you are trying to do so. Something that your book also goes into is something called pronatalist pressures. And pronatalist pressures can lead to high total fertility rates. So there can be cultural and economic forces that encourage women to have more children. There is this list here of examples. This is certainly not an all exclusive list necessarily, but ones that have been sort of used in the past. You have to have labor on the family farm. for in agrarian societies, right? If you need more hands, if you have more hands, you're gonna be able to do a lot more work, right? Your farm's gonna be way more efficient. Or you need security in your old age, meaning that the children will take care of you, especially in countries where there's no social safety net. Large families could be used as an indicator of prestige or success, right? So the more children you are able to have, the more successful you are shown to be. Your seed is fertile. Religious customs maybe perhaps prohibit the use of birth control or family planning strategies. This last bullet point here has been kind of up in the news cycle as of recently, and it's a little bit alarming for those of us who don't want to have children and may be forced to because of someone else's religious practices, which is pretty terrible in my opinion. But my sister-in-law, one of my sisters-in-laws, she is Catholic. And so some really like Orthodox Catholic practices prohibit the use of birth control. I have 3 nephews from that. Adorable little nephews, love them. But yeah, so that's just a way that I can connect to that as well. So also a desired family size is another good indicator, right, of how many children a couple actually ends up having. So pronatalist pressure can be reduced or reversed, and then the total fertility rate will then likely decrease. I encourage you to pause this video now and read through the examples here a little bit more intently and see if you can come up with other examples on your own. Last thing here for this particular portion is I want us to also consider reducing the TFR again. So reducing poverty will reduce the TFR huge. And decreasing the infant mortality rate, so meaning better healthcare, especially for women and infants. If you're able, like, childbirth is a very, very stressful on a female body, on a person's body, and a lot of people died before we had healthcare, right? It's a process, right? And so having medical care there with you, having a midwife or a doula, if you're someone who prefers to do things like home births, that's fine. But as long as you still have a somewhat professional there to help you, I think that's a really big step in the right direction and has saved many, many lives. An increase in educational opportunities, especially for women, right? So we're able to pursue a career, we're able to chase our dreams and go after our goals instead of being a stay-at-home wife. If that's not the route that you want to go, we have that option in this country, at least at the moment. And then, of course, providing family planning education and services. And really overall, like, if you haven't noticed a little vibe here, that just a general empowerment of women, giving women the choice to make a family or not, I think is a big thing, and also just really shows how much more mature we are as a country and culture. All right, so then on our next several videos here, we'll look at age structure and a bit of overpopulation and carrying capacity. So hang tight, and thank you again so much for watching.